was a bit late getting here for a variety of reasons, which I won't bore you with. But as I was fighting my way through the crowds, walking around the concourse here, I was thinking of all the weeks that we spent here last summer. It bubbled up, you know, you, James, Jimmy, when you were playing, Atif, you and I commentating as well. And isn't it incredible to have fans here, just to have that buzz, that atmosphere, that sense of a big occasion?
Yeah, it's great. I think that especially the players feel that for sure. Having spent that time on the field, playing in front of absolutely nobody, yeah, I think it really makes you appreciate it when you've got those fans there. And tonight, we've not even seen a ball bowled yet, and the atmosphere is already building. You can feel the excitement amongst both sets of fans. There's a lot on the line with it being a decider as well, so hopefully it'll be a great night.
News of the toss is that Pakistan have won the toss. They will bat first. We'll hear from the captains in just a second. But Atif, what do you think Babar Azam will have taken from what happened in the 2 games in this series so far?
Well, they've won the game they batted first in, so I think that's what he wants to do here. There was a lot of criticism for winning the toss and batting second in the previous game. And, you know, I think they took it on the chin. I mean, there was a lot of analysis behind it. There was some justification to it. Pakistan have a very good record chasing, but not so much in England. It may have been, you know, we're 1-0 up in the series. Let's experiment a little bit. Let's see what we can do from a position of weakness. But, again, England was so strong, particularly with their spin bowling in the middle of that innings, that really just kind of snuffed the life out of Pakistan's batting order. They'll want to put on a big total here. They know it's a very, very good pitch. The weather is beautiful, as we've already said. But they've also got to leave that lasting impression on the Pakistani media's mind as well. It's very, very cutthroat. Azam Khan not making the team today. He's only played 2 games and he's barely had a hit. So they've gone for a stronger bowling attack today, another bowling option in their team too. So I think for them, they're going into play against a strong West Indies team in just over a week's time. They want to take with them a win against, you know, one of the best teams in the world, England. That'll give them a lot of momentum.
And England, in the meantime, Jimmy, want to establish themselves firmly in the minds of everybody. This is the final T20 that they will play before the World Cup later this year, or certainly until the teams are announced, or the squad is finalised for that T20 World Cup. So Eoin Morgan is back. David Willey is back, replacing Matt Parkinson and Tom Curran, respectively. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think Eoin Morgan said at the start of the series he wanted to have a look at a few players, maybe change the team just to try and get a sort of feel for who he's going to want in that squad in the winter for the World Cup. So not surprised he's made those changes again. Shame for Matt Parkinson. He's bowled so well, I think, through this white ball summer, and not to get a game at his home ground, I think, will be a big disappointment for him. But nevertheless, David Willey comes back, who's been putting a good show in this summer so far. And I think it's a good team. It's going to be a good pitch, as Atif said. And I'm just, hopeful of a great game for what is going to be a huge crowd.
Well, let's hear from the captains. Pakistan winning the toss and opting to bat first. We'll hear from both the captains, starting with Babar Azam.
The 2 captains are out there with the match referee. Gentlemen, please flip that coin. Pakistan has won the toss. Babar, what have you decided today?
We are batting first.
So Pakistan is batting first. Babar, series at 1-all. I mean, what's been your message as a captain to the boys today?
Messages are simple. Go and win the match.
Right, that's perhaps what the Pakistan fans here want. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of partnerships between you and Rizwan at the top. Do you think that middle order perhaps needs to step up and get in amongst the runs as well?
They did well in the first match, but unfortunately they did not well in second match. We are looking forward this match.
What about the team? Any changes at all?
We have 2 changes. Usman, Qadir in, and Hasan is back.
All right, thank you so much and good luck. Owen, a great win, that last one. Everybody chipping in, especially the spinners. Must be feeling confident as a side coming into this one.
Yeah, fantastic performance at Headingley. I thought, given the performance previously at Nottingham, there were a number of corrections within our side and improvements, more of an all-round performance from our team, which is fantastic to see. You know, when you go down 1-0 in a series, to equal it and make today a decider, you know, a huge amount of character is needed when that happens.
Now, we saw 11 overs of spin in that previous game. I mean, do you think this wicket is perhaps going to be conducive for the spinners as well?
Here, I think at Old Trafford over a number of years it has taken spin and some reverse swing. It's certainly a unique ground that we play in our own country. It is a great challenge for us always playing here. We absolutely love playing here, and tonight is no different. It's as close as we get to playing in a World Cup game, playing in a must-win, series on the line type match.
What about your team? Any changes at all?
Yeah, we've made a couple of changes. Curran and Parkinson miss out, and myself and Dave Willey come in.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Good luck with this one. And that is the news from the centre, that Pakistan have won the toss and they have decided to bat first.
So the two teams, let's give you them in full. England have Jason Roy and Jos Buttler opening, followed by Dawid Malan, Jonny Bairstow, Moeen Ali, Eoin Morgan, the captain, returning. Then Liam Livingstone batting all the way down at number 7, Chris Jordan at 8, David Willey, and then Adil, Rashid and Saqib Mahmood. And from the Pakistan point of view, Babar Azam, the captain, opens with Mohammad Rizwan, then Sohaib Maqsood, Mohammad Hafeez at 4, Fakhar Zaman goes in at 5, then Shadab Khan, Imad Wasim is at 7, Hasan Ali 8, Shaheen Afridi at 9, Usman Qadir at 10, and Mohammad Hasnain at 11. Jimmy, quick look at the England team first of all. Liam Livingstone, we've mentioned batting all the way down at 7. I mean, that is proof of how strong England are all the way down when you think about the way he cleared the rugby stand at Headingley the other day. Yeah,
definitely. I think it feels quite cramped at the top of that order. There's a lot of players to get in when you've got Roy, Buttler, Bairstow, Malan in that top 4. Then you've got Moeen Ali, Eoin Morgan and Liam Livingstone to then follow that. And it'd be interesting to see what order they come in. I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Livingstone actually comes up a bit higher. He might come in at number 5, depending on the start that England get. But it just shows how strong they are and how deep they can bat when you've got options like that. And I think another thing we might see tonight with regard to Liam Livingstone is his leg spin. Eoin Morgan touched on there at the toss that this pitch does usually take spin. And with Parkinson missing out, that then gives another opportunity potentially to see more from Moeen Ali with the ball and Liam Livingstone's leg spin, which I think for me is another reason why he will make that World Cup squad.
And that has been very exciting, Atif, hasn't it? Seeing the leg spinners, the two leg spinners working, very different bowlers, aren't they? Adil Rashid and Matt Parkinson bowling so well together at Headingley. And then Pakistan going for the leggy for this game as well.
Yeah, Usman Qadir coming in for Pakistan. I mean, I think they were paying close attention to what Parkinson and Adil Rashid were doing in tandem, that different style of leg spinners, as Jimmy was saying earlier as well. More through one, a slower leg spinner, more through the air, and one a little bit quicker. And that's kind of reflected in Pakistan. Shadab, who bowls it a little bit fuller, maybe slightly defensive leg spin bowling, but Usman Qadir, who's a traditional, who lives up to his father's name, a very attacking leg spin bowler who turns the ball sharply, gives the ball plenty of air and drift. So they've gone for that, but it is a bit of a gamble for Pakistan because they've brought in 2 bowlers and they've let go of Azam Khan, who was playing as a specialist batter. So slightly longer tail for Pakistan. They're really banking on that top order to get them runs here today.
Isn't it great to see the temporary stand over to the left full of people, the party stand as it's called, and also just the crowds coming in now, all just pouring down the Talbot Road to get here as well to this ground on a night when the skies are blue, the floodlights are on, the flags are fluttering, so just a little bit of a breeze after a baking hot day up here in the northwest. If only cricket was always like this, if only T20 cricket was always like this on a gorgeous evening.
It is, isn't it? I think days like this make you believe that it is. It's always like that. Yeah, I think. But
this has been a treat. I think this T20 series, because the series against Sri Lanka was disappointing, but just the last few games we've had have just been joyful, I think.
Yeah, they really have, and I think from an England point of view, leading into that World Cup, it's what they needed as well. That Sri Lanka series didn't really do them any favours. I think it was quite an easy series for them. They didn't get out of second gear. I think what this Pakistan 3 matches against Pakistan is going to do for them is it's a test. It's a huge test. 2 really strong T20 sides. Pakistan up there with they're number 4 in the rankings, but for me, they've got the talent to certainly go all the way in the World Cup. And it's been a good test for England. It really, you need that sort of test of not just your skills but the character as well. When you first game they've lost, let's see how they bounce back from the loss at Headingley last game, because it's important that they get some momentum going into that into the World Cup, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they bring some star value as well, the Pakistani team. You know, they've got these superstar players. I mean, Jimmy Anderson, you called Babar Azam the best T20 batter in the world in the last match, and that was quoted by basically every media outlet in Pakistan because, hey, obviously, you know, there's high praise coming from someone of yourself, but also it's just this recognition that I feel like Pakistani cricket sometimes feels like it doesn't get, you know. This is a guy who's put in some strong performances over and over again and, you know, finally getting some recognition.
Yeah, listen to the atmosphere as the flares go off and the horns blow, and it's a sunny evening in Manchester, and you're listening to Test Match Special. Full commentary of this final T20 international between England and Pakistan. And alongside James Anderson will shortly be Charles Dagnall when he gets himself plugged in. Daggers, what a night this is for a deciding game in the series.
Well, it certainly is. Thank you very much, Eleanor. 26,000 people here, and that one stand, the big open stand to our left-hand side as we look out from the Statham end, 8,000 jammed into there, open air and awash with colours is Old Trafford, the most important being the brilliant blue that we see above us. The floodlights are on in arguably the largest waste of power in the history of mankind, because it is glorious out there. Beautiful setting, and what a way to decide this T20 international series between England and Pakistan. Pakistan winning the toss, electing to bat first. Two changes to the Pakistan side. They've brought in Usman Qadir for Azam Khan. Hassan Ali returns for Haris Rauf. As for England, arguably their strongest side, with Eoin Morgan coming back in for Tom Curran and David Willey for Matt Parkinson. So they're the two sides that take the field out in front of us. There's lots and lots of people on the point building over to the left as we look out at the pavilion, just to the left-hand side of that, in this big red postbox shape. People lining the balcony, leaning over it, drink in hand, soaking up a little bit of sunshine. And over on the hotel side to our right of the pavilion, St George's flags draped across the balconies there. Everybody in situ enjoying this fabulous weather here in Manchester. We're almost ready to get underway. David Willey it is, with ball in hand from the Statham end, shirt untucked, with one slip in place. They could do with really making a bit more noise around here. It's astonishing. First ball to be bowled on, third man and a deep square in place. The first delivery from David Willey is defended by Mohammad Rizwan out into the offside, and there is no run. So Rizwan and Babar Azam, who have been prolific in this T20 series. James, good evening to you.
Good evening, Charles.
Great to have you on board. What better could it be? Old Trafford, two Burnley boys on commentary, double Burnley to start things off.
Glorious.
I should be teaching that in the school curriculum. After maths and English, double Burnley. Here's Willey striding away from us, bowls, and this is just dabbed away down towards third man for a single. Pakistan's first run, which brings with it a cacophony of sound around the ground. There are pockets of Pakistan supporters around them, making an enormous amount of noise, but awash with green in their jerseys, their team's colours, Pakistan flags around as well, waving at every opportunity. Noisemakers, vuvuzelas blaring out. Fabulous, absolutely perfect on this Tuesday evening as Willey starts his run up and stops. Babar Azam not quite ready. I think we're going to have heroes and villains in the crowd today. Lots of pantomime out there. Umpire Milnes it is at this end, all in black. As Willey sets off once more over the wicket he bowls, and it's a good length, just defended out into the offside by Babar Azam. There is no run, and this fresh pitch looks an absolute belter from distance, straw coloured, and you would expect, after what we've had at Trent Bridge and Headingley, more of the same.
I think so, yeah. Usually the T20 pitches here are fantastic. They do take some spin. They can spin later in the game, and especially with the heat we've had over recent days, I imagine it will be actually quite dry.
Willey past a huge orange marker at the end of his run, gets flicked away by Babar Azam. Short fine legger, shy at the stumps by Adil Rashid, but Babar was home. But a yard either side might have whistled away to the boundary. Also, the dimension, short, straight, both sides, but quite a lot of room square of the wicket.
Yeah, it's not the shortest straight. Headingley was much shorter straight down the ground. It is quite a big field, but yeah, generally the pockets are the deep mid wickets and the third man's where you can get your ones and twos.
You can start to see parts of the outfield actually being scorched into a brown colour as Willey bowls back of a length and defended. Awkward bobbling ball for Jason Roy is unfortunate because there's a really dirty wicket end that is in front of him. Lots of debris and crevices for the ball to skip off and make it awkward for the backward point fielder, and that's caused him a problem. A single is collected, 2 without loss. 5 pitches over. Pitches here, the square looks quite barren. Lots of cricket having been played here as Willey moves away from us, and this has been taken on a glove. Is it going to be caught? Buttler takes the catch. Is it the end of Mohammad Rizwan? Has he got a bit of glove, a bit of thigh pad? Rizwan's not for going as yet. England come together, they're not quite sure, and I just wonder if that's a bit of thigh pad, and it's signalled a leg by in the end, so no bat or glove in the opinion of umpire Milnes, and it's the end of a good first over from England. 3 coming from it. Pakistan 3 without loss.
Yeah, good decision there, both from the umpire and Eoin Morgan not to review that. It's come off just thigh pad. Good catch by Jos Buttler, made up some good ground. Diving catch, but not to be. And just talking about the square, we've come from 2 grounds where the square pretty much goes from edge of the field to edge of the field, and yes, here at Old Trafford it's probably one of the smallest in the country. That's why you're seeing a lot of barren wickets, because they're used so much. We have used them, you know, I've been bowling on them in recent days, even yesterday came in for a bowl, so that's why you've got there's only I think 16 pitches on the square, so they do use them quite a bit.
Saqib Mahmood then from your end, the James Anderson end, comes towards us with a slip in place to bowl the second over. Half an appeal for LBW as Mohammad Rizwan advanced down the pitch and there is no run. Just on that then, you generally don't see a huge amount of reverse swing in T20 cricket. There's not time for it to develop, but with the rough surface of the square, is that an outside possibility?
Yeah, I'd say an outside possibility. It's difficult you've only got 20 overs to try and manufacture some reverse swing, and the barer wickets are sort of a bit too far away from this wicket they're playing on.
Saqib bowls, and this is defended by Rizwan out into the offside. Morgan hairs in from extra cover to do the fielding, and then a bullet-like throw back to Jos Buttler.
Have you been impressed with Saqib?
Yeah. Yes. It's difficult not to have been, really.
I mean, I'm biased, and I've been impressed with him all season, or for the last couple of years even, but just be interested to know your opinion on him.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of him in playing for Lancashire, and especially really came to the fore in the Royal London One Day Cup, as he starts with a slightly angled run, comes towards Rizwan, who drives uppishly. It's just going to bounce a couple of times before Chris Jordan at mid-off. Again, no run, and England just keeping things nice and tight at the moment, 3 without loss. But no, it's his, I think, the responsibility that was given to him in those one-day internationals, the fact that he was, in inverted commas, the senior bowler. Yeah. And I think that helped him. Someone Ben Stokes could lean on or look to when the situation required. Slip is coming out, by the way. Dawid Malan going to a mid-wicket. But just his discipline and the pace that he bowled, his really good lines and areas, a little bit of movement, just enough to cause 1 or 2 problems. And I'm going to throw it back on you in a minute as Saqib, with a deep square and the third man in place, comes towards us, and big swing and a miss attempted by Mohammad Rizwan, gets in a bit of a tangle trying to launch it to the leg side, doesn't connect, and Saqib picks it up in his follow through. And I just wonder if he's done enough, even in white ball cricket, if he's done enough to show the selectors that he should be on the plane for Australia.
Yeah, I think certainly I wouldn't be surprised if he's around for the India series at some stage at the end of this summer. Because he has performed brilliantly for Lancashire and red ball cricket as well. And I think what this season has done more than anything, he's backed up game after game. He's played a huge amount of cricket.
Slight change in the field, sorry Jim, but the fine leg has gone back now and there is a deep square. So there's 5 in the offside ring, 2 on the leg side, that's a mid-on and a mid-wicket. Just the 2 deep fielders on the boundary behind square for Saqib, who comes towards us. Short delivery, pulled away, bisects the pair perfectly for 4. First boundary for Pakistan. Little bit telegraphed, perhaps, by Saqib, but Rizwan good enough to wallop it away.
Yeah, just as we're bigging him up, he telegraphs a short ball by putting deep square leg and fine leg back. And Rizwan is onto that in a flash. It's not actually that short, it's probably just under the rib cage of Rizwan. And he just easily sort of rolls his wrists and swivels on it, finds the gap between that deep square leg and fine leg.
7 without loss. So sorry, your point was just going to conclude.
I think he's done it. He's put a run of games together in the past years. He's always had niggles that would pop up and not get that run of games and get that confidence, but I think this year he's managed to get that run of games put together and his confidence has just grown and grown the whole season.
He looks it in his rhythm and his run-up as he comes towards, and this is flicked away and it's going to go fine for 4 more. Just a little bit errant in his line, angling down the leg side, and Rizwan shuffled across his stumps and flicked it with a straight bat, and it's gone past Josh Buttler down to the boundary for 4. And so an expensive end to the over. 2 overs gone, and Pakistan 11 without loss.
And that there ends the praise of Saqib Mahmood with those 2 boundaries.
There you go.
No more positive comments about him.
He's been rubbish.
Two poor balls to finish the over. But the first 4 were absolutely on the money, putting pressure on.
Mohammad Rizwan is 9 not out. Babar Azam 1 from 3. Great to have your company this evening on 5 Live Sports Extra. We'll be also going to 5 Live. We're on the big station tonight at 7 o'clock, all the way through as well. Willey starts the 3rd over. Past on Milnes he goes, and the leading edge has just ballooned up short of cover point. Goodness me, Babar Azam's fortunate there. He was squared up by Willey, it held its line, and a leading edge just went between backward point and extra cover, and Malan caught it on the 1 hop at cover point. David Willey, who's been impressive in white ball cricket for England this summer, as he was last. Huge disappointment missing out on the World Cup squad after being involved with England since their renaissance, since the 2015 World Cup. A point to prove as he runs away, and this is slashed away down towards 3rd man. It shouldn't be 4. It's just going to come into the hands of Saqib Mahmood. A well run from Babar Azam. They'll pick up 2, and Pakistan to 13 without loss. Great to hear wherever you're listening to. It's a lovely Tuesday evening. Wherever you're listening to us from around the country, let us know. At BBC TMS on Twitter. If you're in the garden, it's a nice night for a garden listen, isn't it?
Definitely.
On the deck chair. Sun lounger. You got sun lounger?
Yeah.
At home?
Yeah.
Perfect. There's Willey. Bowls. Down the track comes Babar Azam, trying to wallop it straight over the head of the bowler, but he doesn't connect, and through to Buttler it goes. Glass or something?
Something fizzy.
Something fizzy? Would you go for fizzy?
I would. Bit of ice.
Nice. Send us a pic wherever you are enjoying this lovely Tuesday evening. At BBC TMS on Twitter. We always like to see what you're getting up to. We're just nosy, really. Willey, 15 on his back in bright white numbering, gets 1 short of a length, and off the thigh pad I fancy of Babar Azam. Maybe just... Nope. Thigh pad it was, as umpire Milne signals leg by to the scorer, and Pakistan moved to 14 without loss in this, the 3rd over. It's been a good white ball summer. It started off in very one-sided circumstances in the Sri Lanka series. A 3-0 series win by arguably, don't like calling them the B team, but the next best the next cabs off the rank for England, whilst the main squad was in isolation. Come back and played some fabulous T20 cricket. Both these sides have. Down the pitch, up and over. Has it got the legs? I don't think he's quite caught it. But it's gone all the way for 6. Mohammad Rizwan. He committed to the shot, launched it over long on, and the first 6 of the evening to Pakistan and to Mohammad Rizwan. 20 without loss.
You just saw Babar Azam try the exact same shot and play and miss at it. It looked like he was swinging too hard, so Rizwan has showed him exactly how to play that shot. Dances down, doesn't overswing, just times it really nicely, and he sort of anticipates the length from David Willey. David Willey trying to get it full, swinging back into the right-hander. But Rizwan's smart to it and plays a really, really good shot.
Willey, his response is to ball on shoulder of length. It's guided down towards short third where Saqib Mahmood fields, and it concludes the third over. 20 without loss after 3. Rizwan is 15. Babar Azam is 3. And it being Test match special, we've had a delivery. We've had a cake delivery. In fact, several cakes with a card. These are beautiful looking things. Cupcakes they are, with all of them, and there's a card with them. You take hold of the cakes, Jim.
Thank you.
And the card here says, to everyone at TMS, it's so good to be back. Today marks my first live cricket since the 2019 Ashes, and I thought I'd send a few treats to say thank you for keeping us all sane and giving us something positive through the last 18 months. Between TMS, tail-enders, and now no balls, it's been a joy and a relief. Thank you from Julie Cakes Hall. P.S. I went with the tail-enders theme since our Jimmy is in attendance. How about that from Julie?
Amazing. They look incredible as well.
I'm going to get you to
Brilliant
describe
cupcakes.
them in a moment. But Chris Jordan is on for the 4th over of the innings from the James Anderson end. His first delivery is outside of the off-stump, signalled wide by umpire Wharf, and the score to 21 without loss. Go on, what have you got?
Well, it's, as Julie says, it's tail-enders themed cupcakes. We've got a go well, cheers, a bit spicy that, see it, say it, Salford, etc, etc.
Look at those.
Picture going online soon.
They will. We'll check out the TMS feed. James and his cakes.
Get a picture out there before Charles eats them all.
As Jordan bowls, it's edged past Buttler. The diving Buttler. Slip would have taken it. Buttler had no chance. Flies down towards the boundary for 4. And Pakistan 25 without loss. Babar Azam not at his fluent best as yet. However, he's still there worrying for England. And another boundary.
It would have been another wide if he'd have left it, but swings hard at it. Just gets enough bat to go past Jos Buttler for 4.
Jordan towards us, and this is short and pulled by Babar Azam, and he's got it early as a chance of a catch. It's missed at mid-on by Jason Roy. He was all at sea, really. It was a tough one because it was over his left shoulder and he got himself into an awkward position, and it held in the air for a little bit of time. It wasn't timed well by Babar Azam. Maybe the toe end of the bat, but it ends up safe at mid-on. And he'll pick up a single, 26 without loss.
Yeah, for a minute I thought he was going to catch that, but he did get himself in an awkward position. He did have a lot of ground to cover, so it was a great effort in the end. But that's just how high England's fielding standards are. You know, he looks the look of disappointment on his face there. Feels like he could have actually got a hand to it.
Still in place, fine leg, deep square. Jordan. 5 in the offside wing, encroach upon Rizwan, who drives a slightly slower delivery, I think. It's just triples to Eoin Morgan at extra cover, and Pakistan scamper through for a single, 27 without loss. Slight change in the field for Babar as fine leg comes up, and then a deep mid-wicket goes out.
It's an interesting field. He's got all the offside is inside the circle, but his line, these first 4 balls with a wide, have been very wide outside off stump.
Jordan, lovely rhythmical action. This is on the stumps this time. It's defended by Babar Azam to mid-on, and they go through for a hastily taken single, 28 without loss. Umbrellas up here at Old Trafford. In front of us are cameramen, but they are shielding themselves from the sun. Must be warm work. On the balcony, in direct glare of the sun beating down here at Old Trafford. How lovely it is to say that. Jordan again, past umpire Wharf, full delivery and slightly mishandled at mid-on. No damage done as the ball goes out to mid-off. It remains 28 without loss. That big stand, that big temporary open stand, 8,000 people in there, all jammed in, hopefully with the sun protection factor on, although a bit of them are in the shade, to be fair. Sun setting over to our left hand side as Jordan approaches once more. Another slower delivery, gets swatted away by Rizwan. Only be a single though, out towards deep backward square. Jonny Bairstow, the man patrolling that boundary, and it's the end of the fourth over. 29 without loss here on Test Match Special, 5 Live Sports Extra. Don't forget you can watch in-play highlights via the BBC Sport website and app, and you can also catch the T20 cricket highlights tonight on BBC Two at 11:15 with James Anderson and Ebony Rainford Brent. Just want to stay up for at 11:15. See your lovely face on there.
Definitely, yeah.
Considered thoughts. It's late night viewing, it's after the watershed. That's when you've got to put James Anderson on your screen. 4 overs gone, 29 without loss. Plenty of you have got in touch. Gary Walters is enjoying TMS, sunshine and a cold one. He's not told us where he is. That cold one he's enjoying in his back garden. 3/4 of it already drunk. Nice bit of lager. Torquil Deacon has got some Bollinger.
Oh, lovely.
Ah, lovely. Torquil, good man. Now Saqib, Mahmood, keep him coming in. At BBC TMS on Twitter. Saqib Mahmood is back into the attack from the stay the men this time. Our end, and he strides away from us, close to the stumps, and that gets hit away. Long into the distance over deep backward square. Is beautifully picked up by Mohammad Rizwan, and he has looked the most fluid out of the 2 batsmen at the crease. It was on a good length, but arguably a premeditated shot, but how well it has worked out for Rizwan and Pakistan to 35 without loss.
Yeah, we saw this at Trent Bridge with these two. They took their time. They took 2 or 3 overs to get in and get used to the pace of the wicket, and then they started trying to accelerate through the back end of the power play and out of it. And we're seeing that now from, well, particularly from Rizwan. I just wonder if this is a bit too predictable from Saqib Mahmood. He's got the same field. He's got all the offside field, 5 fielders in the circle. He's got deep fine leg and deep square leg. And I just wonder whether, as a batter, you're going to know exactly where that, it's going to be straight. You're looking to bowl straight, or it's going to be short. I just wonder if it's a bit predictable at the minute.
Saqib, what's his response then? It's a full delivery and tentatively forward pushes Rizwan. They take a quick single to David Willey, but Rizwan always wanted one. Good running from a wicketkeeper batsman, and Pakistan moved to 36 without loss. Shadow of the point is now starting to stretch out over the outfield here as one of the floodlight stanchions almost going from one side of the ground to the other. As the shadows lengthen here. Julie's got in touch about the cakes, by the way. Thank you, Julie. As Saqib, away from us, this back of a length, turned wristily by Babar Azam out through the onside. They think about 2, but not whilst Willey is patrolling deep mid-wicket. They'll settle for 1 and 37 without loss. Apparently, the cupcakes are vanilla with a mango coulis.
Wow.
It's a little highbrow for the TMS box, but they will go down well. George and Ian listening to us from the tub in South Devon. How lovely. It's raining in London apparently as well. Twas ever thus. Saqib, blue sleeve over his right arm, comes in bowls, and once again that sort of swatting type of shot, as though he's getting rid of an annoying insect from Rizwan. A lot of bottom hand in it, goes out through the onside for another single, 38 without loss. The other thing about the Old Trafford pitch, though, is that, especially in one-day cricket, it's true.
Yeah.
You can trust it as a batter.
Yeah, you very rarely get variable bounce. It's usually a very true bounce. You can trust, as you say, trust it. And that, you can see those cross-bat shots on a pitch that's going up and down can be risky, but not on this pitch.
England yet to find success as a back-of-the-length delivery is turned very neatly, stylishly by Babar Azam out towards deep square. The joiners listening to us from the French Pyrenees. How joyous that is. And Paul Buttery, excellent surname, listening in Valencia with a cold beer and a swim. How about that?
Beautiful.
In the pool he is. That's one way to listen to TMS, isn't it? In the pool. Wherever you are, great to have your company. As Old Trafford is drenched in glorious sunshine as Saqib, well, many overs on here, a low full toss gets hit away through the onside, and a fine tumbling piece of fielding by David Willey keeps it to 1. So this is most productive for Pakistan. 5 overs gone, 40 without loss. Rizwan is 26 not out, Babar Azam is 11 not out, and overall, I think we'll be delighted with the start that they have made. James Anderson, some more words from you, and then it'll be Atif Nawaz.
Yeah, I think it's been a fairly cagey start, to be honest. I think both teams just feeling their way into the match. Pakistan not over-attacking. I think they'll be delighted with 40 for none, not losing a wicket. Run rate at 8 and over. I think they'd be pretty happy with that, with an over left of the power play. England will they'll want that wicket or two, especially with these two at the crease. The longer these two bat, the more dangerous it gets for England. So I think this could be again, one of those wicket-taking options on this surface. Adil Rashid coming into the attack.
Well, he bowled very well in the last game as well at Headingley. Adil Rashid 2 for 30 from his 4 in Headingley. He's going to come in from the James Anderson end here at Old Trafford. And yeah, Pakistan will be very pleased. It's rather unusual to see Mohammad Rizwan driving the run getting and Babar Azam almost trying to get him on strike.
Yeah, it does feel like that. It feels like Babar's he's tried a few big shots, but he's not really timed it that well, so he looks like he's happy just to give Rizwan the strike and let him be the attacking force in this partnership.
Now then, Adil Rashid at the top of his run, just spinning the ball in his hand as he comes in now to Rizwan. Thick under edge, goes to the fine leg inside the circle. They take a single. Rizwan hasn't been completely convincing so far. He's got this sort of premeditated idea of, like, I'm going to come out and attack because we need a lot of runs on this pitch. Sometimes it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when you play like that. Things just make sense. You get away, those little edges go your way, everything just works out.
Yeah, I think he's very annoying to bowl at, I'll tell you that much. He just always manages to find a way of getting it into a gap, getting one little inside edge or an outside edge.
Babar on strike now. In comes Rashid. This one's down the leg side. Big swing from Babar. He misses out, but it will still be given a wide by the umpire. Just losing his line that time, Adil Rashid.
Yeah, but with Rizwan as well, when he gets in, he's got an array of shots that can be really devastating to any bowling attack.
Here's Rashid. Down the track, and he's been stumped. Babar Azam looking to break the shackles. Was completely outdone by an Adil Rashid googly. He was looking to put that down the ground, misses it. And behind the stumps, there are no mistakes. Stumping, England take their first wicket, 42 for 1 after 5.2 overs.
Yes, the googly from Adil Rashid. I don't think Babar Azam has picked that. He's tried to go straight down the ground. He's tried to increase the run rate. He's struggled this innings, only 11 off 13 balls faced, so he'll be disappointed with that. But brilliant bowling from Adil Rashid, and also brilliant captaincy from Eoin Morgan, giving the last over of the power play to Adil Rashid, and getting that wicket will make England feel so much better already about this power play.
I don't even think Jos Buttler really picked it. He kind of just waited for the ball to get to him, and he happened to be in the right position, and he played it off quite nonchalantly in his celebration. But England have a big breakthrough. They know what it means to get Babar Azam early. He got a lot of runs, of course, in that match at Trent Bridge. 85, he got a 49 balls. We'll be pleased to see the back of him. Now then, Sohaib Maqsood, the new batter for Pakistan. averaging just under 15. Not very impressive, that average, but we know he can do wonderful things on a cricket field. Part of that Multan Sultan's PSL winning side. Big innings in the final as well to get Multan over the line. 6 years out of international cricket. Big game for him here against England at Old Trafford. Decider. Batting against Adil Rashid, who's already made a difference. Adil Rashid and Eoin Morgan just seem to have this sort of telepathic communication sometimes.
Yeah, and I think even Josh Buttler, the way he's kept this series to Adil Rashid, he's been absolutely faultless, and that's a really tricky stump in that. It's the googly, it's gone in between bat and pad, it's just missed leg stump. So to take that as cleanly as he did, and make the stumping look as easy as he did, I think is brilliant bit of keeping.
He's got a slip as well now, as Adil Rashid, as he comes in to Sohaib Maqsood. Back of a link this time. Maqsood just pushes to extra cover. No run. Dot ball. Pakistan 42 for 1 after 5.3 overs. Adil Rashid immediately making an impact here. 3 balls in. He's only gone for 2, and he's already got that valuable wicket of Babar Azam, Pakistan captain. In comes Rashid again. Bit fuller this time. Bit flatter, and just driven back to him by Maqsood. Another dot ball. This is such a useful sequence for England. Last over of the power play, Jimmy.
Yeah, great. And but I think one thing they'll be wary of is that it's already showing signs of spin, this wicket. So that's something when they come to bat, it might make the chase a little bit trickier.
And Pakistan with 4 frontline spinners in this side today. In comes Rashid once again. Lots of flight given this time. Driven aggressively by Maqsood. He beats the fielder in the circle. He races away all the way along the ground. Maqsood is off the mark with that 4. Pakistan 46 for 1. 1 ball to come in the 6th over.
Yeah, lovely shot to get off the mark. It's a little bit full from Adil Rashid. He tossed it up just outside off stump. And a classical cover drive from Maqsood. Just beats the diving David Willey at mid-off. Gets off the mark with a boundary.
There was no second guessing himself in that shot, was there? Huge backlift. He was always going to aim to hit that very, very hard. Now then, how does Rashid come back? Still a very tidy over. 1 for 6 from his 5 deliveries so far. Still got the slip in place. And he comes now. Short this time and pulled into the leg side. It's gone high. It's gone long. It's gone into the boundary. 4 more runs for Maqsood. Just spoiling Adil Rashid's over there. Pakistan's 50 comes up. 50 for 1 after 6 overs. And this crowd of 21,000 here at Old Trafford making as much noise as they have all night.
Yeah, great noise from the crowd, and those 2 boundaries have just livened them up. And Adil Rashid following up that tossed up delivery outside the off stump with an over correction, dragged it down into the surface, allowing Maqsood to get back and play the pull shot. Quite an easy shot when there's only one man out on the boundary on the leg side. There's plenty of space for him to hit it safely, and that's exactly what he did.
And there's a bit of a extended conversation happening between Eoin Morgan and Chris Jordan. Morgan always takes the time to settle his bowlers, work on his strategy, be as precise as possible. The power play is done now. We'll likely see the field spread a little bit, especially as you can have Rizwan, the informed man, on strike. He's got 27 off 19 deliveries so far. Jimmy Anderson's going to have a little break. And joining me for the very first time today is the delightful Ebony Rainford. Ebony, what a start for Pakistan, just tempered by that wicket. Tell me about it in a second. Chris Jordan's running in. And he comes to Rizwan. Bowls a full-length ball. Has been driven down the ground by Rizwan. What a beautiful shot that is. Of course, there's a long on out there for protection now, so it'll just be a single. Jason Roy into the action. 51 for 1.
Yeah, Mohammad Rizwan is the one, isn't he? I mean, he's so dynamic. I think what I liked about seeing him, he did it in the ODI that got things moving, and then we've seen it in parts in the T20s. He's busy. He doesn't hang about. He doesn't overthink it. He just gets moving around the crease and tries to create angles. So I feel that Pakistan, if they're going to set that big score, if it's not Babar, we were talking off air, he's considered and seen as the big gun, and one of the big guns in this side. So it's his time to shine.
It's Maqsood on strike now. In comes Jordan, a bit shorter. Maqsood just pushes this behind point. He'll take the single. Saqib Mahmood with the throw. Score moves on to 52 for 1. Absolutely, Ebs. I think Mohammad Rizwan in the past 12 months has been probably even more prolific than Babar Azam has. And when you think about the man he replaced, Sarfraz Ahmed, the captain of Pakistan for such a long time, took them to that Champions Trophy here in England in 2017. He had to put in some titanic performances to displace him. There's no conversation about it either. He is the go-to wicketkeeper. Jordan in now, full, driven again down the ground by Rizwan to long on for a single. Score moves on to 53 for 1.
Yeah, and I like just him as an overall player. Like, he's busy behind the stumps. You hear him behind the stumps. When he comes to the crease, you sense something's going to happen either way. And players like that, they give sides momentum, especially when you've been struggling as a side. They haven't had the flow they want since they've got here. I definitely feel like he's someone who's shone out of some of the other players.
Jordan in once again, shorter this time, worked off his hips by Maqsood into the leg side. He'll take a single. Moeen Ali gets the ball back in, 54 for 1. It's a good chance for Maqsood again. He came in under pressure in the last game. He got 15, batted his average. We've talked about him being a much better player than his average, and he showed glimpses of the destructive batter he can be, but he's never quite had that statement innings on the big stage. This is a very big opportunity for him on a good wicket here at Old Trafford with a big crowd, a noisy crowd. Jordan in once again, another full delivery, just dug out into the leg side by Rizwan. They run through for a single. 55 for 1. How about this crowd, Ebbs? How nice. I mean, last year there was not a soul in the stadium. I remember me and Yasser Arafat, Pakistani all-rounder, were in one of the stands, and that was it. There was nobody else in the stands. And it's just extraordinary. 21,000 people.
Just a moment, sorry, I was just going to say, talk about Chris Jordan, who just bowled a beautiful Yorker. I just noticed he's going to have to replace the bat. It looks like he's had to call for, he's completely been...
Yeah, he's broken his toe.
Done.
The bat's toe, to be clear. Jordan in once again, short and just guided quite stylishly by Sohaib Maqsood down to find third for a single. That's the end of the 7th over, 56 for 1.
Sorry, yeah, there was you and Yasser Arafat in the stand, and then there was a dude on the train platform that you could see just outside the ground, playing the drum. I can't remember the name of the drum.
Dol.
The Dol. And he had a couple of mates, and they were making all the noise, but no one else. So there was no one in the stadium except us, and then a couple of super fans outside. So it's completely different atmosphere to last year.
I mean, I can see people here in the stands dancing. The flags have been waving. That horn noise that you can hear has just been non-stop from about 2 hours before the match started, and probably go way on into the night.
Well, I guess the question for the fans really is, Pakistan 1-1 in the T20 series. Can they get over the mark? Sometimes it feels like it's down to Babar Azam when they're not in flow. You think it's down to him, but actually you look down the side, there's a lot of batting to come.
A lot of bats are being offered right now as well.
How many bats is he checking?
There's a total of 6 bats I'm counting right now on the pitch, not counting the one that he's broken. Well, he's settled on one finally, and we will resume action very, very shortly. Now then, the score is 56 for 1 after 7 overs. We're just waiting for over number 8 to begin. It will be Liam Livingstone who's going to come into the attack. We have seen this pitch, Ebbs, already take a little bit of turn, which might, as Jimmy Anderson said, bring those 4 frontline Pakistani spinners into play. Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting if Liam Livingstone gets turn as well. I think the Pakistani spinners will be keen.
Well, this time the ball's just been worked into the leg side for a single.
What will be interesting to see as well is just how Livingstone uses his variations. As we know, he can go, usually tries to take the ball away from the right-hander, but can offer the change-up if needed, the fire it in, the off-spinner. He's just got that ability to bowl the ball both ways. But I'm interested to see how he gets turn off this surface.
Right, 57 for 1 after 7.1 overs. In comes Livingstone. This is short, and it's been hammered into the mid-wicket area for a single by Rizwan.
It did grip though, didn't it? It was short, so he had time to adjust, but notice that definitely had a decent amount of turn off the surface.
Just setting the surface there. A bit more flight given this time. Big swing attempted by Maqsood. This has turned so sharply. It's beaten Josh Buttler behind the stumps. It's gone fine, and it's going to be 4 byes. Well, there's a lot of turn in this wicket, we can tell you. And I imagine the spinners are going to cause a lot of trouble here. There was a big swing.
That was a big swing. He thought it was sort of in that arc of when the ball goes up in the air and you can just clear, but it actually turned, took the outside edge.
They're shorter this time, cut behind square, Moeen Ali behind it. Excellent piece of fielding, no run taken, 62 for 1. Little game of cat and mouse right now between England and Pakistan. Pakistan just trying to wrestle some momentum here. England just trying to hold them back. Full of ball, big swing this time from Maqsood into the leg side. There is protection in the deep. It's Jonny Bairstow, a deep backward square leg. And, another single to the batters. Maqsood on to 13 off 11 now.
Maqsood sets himself up like a sort of a stand and deliver type batter, clearly quite strong.
Big backlift as well. This time the ball's been smashed through the covers. Is it going to get the boundary comfortably? 4 runs to Mohammad Rizwan. He marches on. Pakistan after 8 overs, 67 for 1. And the noise here at Old Trafford is deafening.
Well, the run rate is starting to pick up. That was a lovely shot there from Rizwan, who just shuffled down the wicket to create a bit of space and then a bit of a flourish.
Well, welcome to 5 Live listeners. You're joining us for the 3rd international T20 between England and Pakistan here at Old Trafford. It is a beautiful day. 30 degrees of heat at about 7 o'clock. It's not bad, is it? It's been interesting play so far. Babar, Azam, the Pakistani captain, winning the toss as he did in the second game, but this time opting to bat first. And Pakistan have started brightly. That's despite losing their captain. Babar Azam dismissed by Adil Rashid, who's continuing now. Pakistan after 8 overs are 67 for 1. My name is Adil Nawaz, alongside me, Ebony Rainford-Brent.
Hello, sorry Atif, I was jumping in. I got excited because I was seeing them. Eoin Morgan, who's back in the attack today, is being aggressive with the field set. Yeah. He's put a slip in place for Maqsood, who knows there's going to be turn. He's going to be trying to play some shots.
In comes Rashid now. Lots of flight given. Big swing from Maqsood. This has gone down the ground and straight into the waiting hands of Jason Roy at long on. Well, Maqsood has fallen into the trap. The second wicket for Pakistan falls. Eoin Morgan winning the tactical battle. Pakistan 67 for 2.
That's a bit frustrating to watch there because I'm all happy him going for the big shot, but there was no sense of trying to get your angle right. So when you look at someone like a Josh Buttler, for example, he might go for the big shot, but he makes sure he gets the angle right. So even if they have to chase after it, that just went straight to the fielder. Jason Roy didn't really have to move, just a little shuffle and it was in his hands. I think in this format of the game, if you're going to be that big destructive hitter, you also have to be clinical and clear on where you're trying to place it at the same time. And that just looked a bit, I'm going to go and not overthink about, you know, where I'm trying to place it.
That's disappointing from Maqsood yet again. He's having a difficult time here readjusting to international cricket. As he came in the side, I actually wrote a piece for the BBC Sport website where I talked about his maturity as an international cricketer developing, but he hasn't really shown signs of that in this series. Always getting a little start and then being a little bit one-dimensional. By the way, his departure brings Pakistan's most experienced player, 41-year-old Mohammad Hafeez, to the crease. He's also had a great run of form over the last couple of years for Pakistan. And a lot of hopes of Pakistan getting to a competitive total will lie with him. That aggressive field you talked about, Ebony, just paying off a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to see in this format of the game, at this stage of a game, to have a slip in play. It means you trust your bowler, you know the surface is turning. You don't mind being aggressive. So Eoin Morgan continuing his traditional captain style.
There's all the experience of Mohammad Hafeez there, taking his time, taking his guard, marking it out, organising himself, making the bowler wait. Adil Rashid's been ready for the last 3 minutes to bowl this ball. Mohammad Hafeez making him wait. Now Rizwan at the other end is just tying his shoelaces. It's a farce. Anyway, finally, in comes Adil Rashid. Lots of flight given and driven into the mid-wicket area by Hafeez. He's off the mark straight away. Pakistan 68 for 2 after 8.2 overs. Adil Rashid, those 2 boundaries he conceded over the last 2 balls of his first over, he came back very strongly from that. Adil Rashid's the kind of bowler who can always get himself a wicket, no matter what scenario he's in. Making him, for my money, one of the best leg spinners in the world, especially in this format. Jordan is a net slip. In comes Rashid. Back of a length, a little bit quicker. Pushed into the leg side by Rizwan for a single. 69 for 2 after 8.3. It looks like Rizwan is a little happier to rotate the strike, take those ones and consolidate a little bit, whereas the other batters have all looked to hit the ball from word go.
Yeah, and interesting. I think Rizwan in the power play tried to be more aggressive, more dominant, and then I think he's just sensed there's a change in the tone, and if he's there in the last 6 overs.
As Rashid comes in short this time and hammered into the leg side high, but there's a fielder under it, and Mohammad Hafeez has been caught in the deep. Adil Rashid has his 3rd wicket now, and just as it did at Headingley, spin paying dividends for England. Pakistan in all sorts of problems here at 69 for 3. England on top.
Massively on top, and I don't think Pakistan are reading the surface well enough. It's not coming on fast. It's taking a bit of turn, a little bit of pace out, and so they're trying to hit these big shots where the ball's not coming on. So you either have to wait a fraction longer or you have to pick your gap clearer, and it just looked like they haven't read that sign. So now it's applied pressure. I was just saying, no wonder Rizwan is kind of winding in a little bit and just trying to milk it a bit more, is because he's under pressure if the other end aren't picking up these clues quick enough.
Yes, well, Mohammad Hafeez, Pakistan's most experienced cricketer, is now back in the dugout. He's gone for 1. And Adil Rashid is recording some superb statistics. Now then, Fakhar Zaman, unusually low for him, number 5. We've seen him open the batting for Pakistan. We've seen him score hundreds and double hundreds in that opening spot for Pakistan. But in this modern team, he finds himself at the number 5 position. He's got a very intense strike rate, 140 nearly. Decent average in this format as well of 22, approaching 1,000 international T20 runs. He's definitely capable. It'll be interesting to see his approach, because thus far, Ebony, as you say, it's been slightly brainless hitting from Pakistan.
Yeah, I think Fakhar Zaman likes to hit the ball, but also we've seen some really intelligent styles of play during the ODIs. I think I'm hoping that Rizwan, as you said to him, just get a feel for the wicket, almost give yourself an over of rotating and knocking it around. You don't have to go ball 1, just get the pace, because I don't think it's coming on as much as some of the big shots that they tried to play show. Now
then, Adil Rashid in once again, lots of flight given, driven inside edge onto his pads, Fakhar Zaman. A bit of tentativeness there from Fakhar. Another dot ball for England. Remember, England have taken 3 wickets and Pakistan playing an extra bowler today, so there is a longer tail on offer for England here. If they can get through these 2, there's not a ton of batting to come for Pakistan. There's Adil Rashid in once again, lots of flight given once more, driven once more, only to extra cover once more, and it's a dot ball once more. So 9 overs gone, and Pakistan 69 for 3. A terrific spell of bowling here from Adil Rashid. 3 for 12 from his 2 overs. World class.
It's such a well-oiled machine, isn't it? Both Eoin Morgan could see the conditions and gives the ball to Rashid, puts the slip in place, and Rashid's got the confidence to give it that bit of air because he knows his game plan, he knows Pakistan are under pressure. It just feels like they know how it's going to play out. There's just such a sense of belief, a clarity on the style they want to play, and Pakistan just look all at sea against him at the moment. So 3 from 12. I guess the question is, are they going to hold one of his overs back? He's very good at cleaning up later on.
Well, they do have options, England, with this ball, and one of them is coming in now. Moeen Ali getting cheered. And oh, there's a proposal in the crowd. I think she said yes. Well, that's the biggest cheer of the day, and that is a lucky couple. A young man in a 1992 England shirt proposing to his girlfriend, now fiancée. The action continues. Moeen Ali in, attempted sweep shot. Rizwan misses, he's gone to the ground. He's on one knee as well. Everybody's on one knee here at Old Trafford.
Well, the funniest thing is his mate, who's on the other side of his new-to-be missus, was just screaming in his ear, like, come on. And I was thinking, you're taking the romance out of the moment. But what a beautiful thing, hey? Lots of celebrations. People in the crowd congratulating as well.
Moeen Ali in once again, bit shorter, worked into the leg side for a single. Well, if you're going to propose... Oh, in fact, the batters are going to come back for 2 and make it. There's a shy. In fact, they're going to have a look at this. He got the dive in. He looked comfortable. But they're going to have a little look at it just to be safe. But going back to that proposal, I mean, doing it in front of 21,000 people. You know,
It's bold.
It's risky. And on our television graphic thing that we've got here, the graphic of decision pending came up, which was a bit cruel, I thought. Yeah, Fakhar Zaman comfortably home. We'll find out. We found out of that review. Yeah, we just wanted to check if his bat was grounded or not, but it was.
Yeah, look comfortably home. It's a bold move. Would you actually say no? You could say yes now and then get home later and be like, sorry, I just didn't want to embarrass ourselves on TV. But it's not happening.
Well, anybody planning on proposing to Ebbs, don't do it at a cricket stadium.
Yeah, some warning, please. Otherwise, no guarantees.
In comes Moeen Ali once again. Lots of flight. This time turned into the leg side by Rizwan. He'll take a single. Score moves on to 72 for 3 after 9.3 overs. What a lovely moment it is, though. I mean, they'll remember that. For a lot of people, this will be just another T20 game. Oh, it was a decider, it was a big game. But, you know, T20s kind of fade away into obscurity. But for that couple, they're going to remember this game forever.
Well,
hopefully.
Let's hope
hopefully.
for a long stretch.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Statistics are not looking great.
No. I don't add to that statistic very well myself. 72 for 3 after 9.3 overs. And spin doing the trick here for England, as it did in Headingley.
Important time for Moeen Ali as well. Back up the player of the match performance. He doesn't get a huge amount of overs.
And he comes now to Fakhar Zaman. Good line, tight. Fakhar can just push the ball back to him. There is no run. England continuing this squeeze. He doesn't get the same preference that Adil Rashid does, Moeen Ali, as he comes in again. This time again quite full. Played off the face of the bat, defensively to extra cover by Fakhar. This is unusual. Fakhar Zaman's gone 4 balls in now and he hasn't got off the mark yet.
I think he's feeling the pressure, and Moeen Ali is just kind of going at him, forcing him to play, angling it into the stumps, into the body.
And rushing in with every delivery. He's only just paused here to take his fielder from mid-wicket and put him to the short fine leg position inside the circle. Now then, in comes Moeen Ali. On a length ball, this time just pushed into that exact mid-wicket area. Moeen fields himself, but Fakhar is off the mark. 1 from 5 for him. Well, after 10 overs, you've got to say, advantage England. The spinners doing the trick. 73 for 3 so far. How do Pakistan begin to rebuild from here? And how can England continue this pressure? Ebony Rain for Brent, some thoughts from you. And you're going to be joined by Charles Dagnall.
Well, there's still batting to come in terms of Shadab, Imad Wasim and Hassan Ali after these 3. So I sense there just needs to be a bit of a recovery over the next, let's say, 4 overs, just to get a platform, rotate the strike, take a bit of heat out of the game. And then they've got power hitting that could come in at the back end of the game, Daggers. So yes, they are behind, but I think still a good score is possible if they rebuild.
Well, here's Rashid to continue. His first delivery is swept away hard, and it almost has cleaned up Alex Wharf, the square leg umpire, who's flat on his back. He now gets up on his haunches and then stretches his arms out as if to sort of say, give me some warning, would you? It's got all the way to the boundary for 4. And Pakistan moved to 77 for 3. Good looking shot.
It was a very good looking shot. He reached for it. It hit the bowler's foot mark on the strip to the side and then kind of leaped out at him. He did well to a nifty limbo move and get under that ball.
He has done well. Great reactions from Alex Wharf. 77 for 3. Rashid has 3 for 16 after 2.1. He comes in again with a slip in place, and Fakhar Zaman defends out into the offside. In fact, it's Rashid who picks up the delivery off his own bowling. Well, how lovely. Nothing like an intimate atmosphere to propose. Phil and Jill, apparently.
Oh, is that the name?
Phil and Jill.
Oh.
Betrothed couple. As big swing away. Oh, that's an enormous shot from Fakhar Zaman into the onside and into the big open stand over to our left. The sun blinding us a little bit. Beach balls and flags are getting tossed around in that stand to celebrate Fakhar connecting beautifully with a slog sweep. And if Adil Rashid has had the wool over Pakistan, then Fakhar Zaman has decided to start fighting back. 83 for 3.
And the right option of bowling as a left-hander, the ball's coming into him, so he's just kind of helping it on its way. We said they'd struggle to find the pace on this wicket. He found all the pace he needed in that one. Absolute beauty.
So Rashid still with the slip in place. There's a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket and long on. Angled run, twirls his arms and bowls on leg stump. Flat delivery turned by Fakhar Zaman through the onside. They'll think about the second run. Fakhar wants it. There's always a danger with Fakhar running, but they keep it to 1, and Pakistan breathe easy. 84 for 3. Mohammad Rizwan is there, 39 not out. He's played very nicely. Now the Pakistan noise levels rise up a little bit after a very good over so far. 84 for 3. An orthodox leg break from Rashid gets chopped away by Rizwan, only as far as Saqib at short third man, and a single is taken. 85 for 3. Don't forget, listeners, 100 starts tomorrow on 5 Live. The Oval Invincibles against the Manchester Originals from 6:15. Carlos Brathwaite and England captain Heather Knight part of the team tomorrow for the start of the 100, as a sweep is played by Fakhar Zaman out towards deep backward square. Long chase for Saqib, and he picks the ball up tumbling to his left-hand side, and Pakistan through for second. So good over for Pakistan. 87 for 3 at the conclusion of the 11th. Rashid 3 for 26 off their 3. So yes, join us on 5 Live. The start of the 100 tomorrow. Oval Invincibles versus the Manchester Originals.
Should be fun, I think.
Well,
I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. The energy's coming, the tunes are going to be coming.
It's a venture into the unknown, and that's what's interesting and fun about it. Is going to all unfold over the next month or so. And make sure you stay with us right across the BBC. We've got television coverage, all of the games on the radio. It all starts tomorrow evening, 6:15. You can also hear tomorrow on 5 Live Sports Extra. Commentary of the second day of India's tour match against the County Select team as well. Our good buddy Mark Church is up there in Durham. Watch KL Rahul score a scintillating 100 today, ahead of the Indian Test Series, all of which you'll hear on Test Match Special. Moeen Ali from the James Anderson end with the pavilion behind him. His first delivery is pulled into the onside by Rizwan. Doesn't quite get hold of it, and it just meanders out to David Willey at deep mid-wicket. 88 for 3. Charles Dagnall, Ebony Rainford Brent with you. High at the Statham end. What a wonderful vista we have here. The flag's just gently billowing in the breeze on top of the pavilion. The St George's flag, more active than the Union flag, which is just drooped next to the flagpole. Round the wicket comes Moeen, and this is punched back to the bowler. A good little battle going on between Moeen and Fakhar Zaman here.
Yeah, I like the angle. He's just kind of angling it into the left-hander, giving him no room to free those arms, which he loves to do.
Big bushy beard of Moeen approaches as Fakhar Zaman drives slightly on the up. It bobbles across the used wickets on the square here at Old Trafford out to Jonny Bairstow at deep cover, and a single is taken. 89 for 3. And Rizwan back on strike, who's 41 not out. Conversation between Morgan and Buttler, captain and vice-captain, just prior to the next delivery being bowled as Mohammad Rizwan waits. Green trousers, light green top, Pakistan, as a flat delivery from Moeen is skimmed down. It gets hit out towards mid-wicket. Another single is taken. 90 for 3. The ominous thing from an England perspective is the success that Rashid has had, and Moeen Ali is keeping control of things. Of course, they have their own spin contingent to think about. Shadab Khan, we're going to see Usman Qadir, many of whom will have seen his father bowl many a time for Pakistan. Abdul Qadir was a wizard, as Moeen's next delivery is just tucked into the leg side neatly for a single by Fakhar Zaman. 90 for 3. Imad Wasim as well, left arm darts. He bowls those. They're orthodox spinners, but he doesn't really get a great deal of turn. But
Just fires him in from that angle, doesn't he?
I think they'll be encouraged by what they've seen from this Old Trafford pitch, as the final ball of the Moeen delivery gets worked it through the leg side just for another single. Willey is there to tidy up, and a bounce throw is good to Buttler, and it's the end of the over. 12 overs gone. 92 for 3. Rizwan is 43. Fakhar is 16 not out. Don't forget, you can watch him play highlights via the BBC Sport website and app, and the highlights with Ewan James this evening at 11:15 on BBC Two. But it's just something in the back of England's mind, I think.
Yeah, I also would, if I was Pakistan, Babar Azam, I'd be tempted to think about opening one over with a spinner. There's big boundaries as well, so there is that grip and turn, and you start strong. Someone like Jason Roy, who likes to go at the ball, cause him some trouble having to hang back, and the pitch I wouldn't say is coming on perfectly. You have to almost wait to get value for your run. So, you know, if Pakistan rebuild here to a decent score, they still could, you know, if they go well, get near that 170, 180, even a bit more if they hold wickets in hand. Predictor score says 175, so I think 170, 180 would be valuable on this.
Liam Livingstone, he's had quite a good couple of games, hasn't he? He'll be enjoying life in an England shirt.
He's put his name in the hat, hasn't he?
Has he ever? Maybe even cemented his place in the side. He's going to bowl a leg spinner first up from this Statham end, at our end. Gets sliced away, or swept away, and Dawid Malan, unfortunately, has made a complete pig's ear of the fielding down at deep backward square. The ball was spinning. He knew it was. He adjusted for the ball as it bobbled up off the slog sweep of Rizwan, and he's, instead of picking up one, they've picked up 4, 96 for 3.
Yeah, that's not good. He had so much time. He'd run around. He knew what was coming. Ended up, it just sort of kind of.
The next delivery is just played down towards short third. And a single is taken, 97 for 3.
Yeah, it's one of those ones as well that, you know, if it ends up being a tight game and you look back at key moments, those are the sort of ones. One thing I was going to say, Liam Livingstone is getting it to rip. You wouldn't say he's a bowler that really gets that turn on Rashid, but off the surface it is significantly moving. So Pakistan spinners, Qadir in particular, who's in for the first time in the T20s, will be licking his lips right now.
He's like Bertie Bassett, Liam Livingstone. He bowls all sorts. All sorts. Other all-sorted licorice treats are available. I don't know,
they don't make
by who.
A good joke.
So there you go.
Well done, Dogs.
Thank you. Livingstone's going to go round the wickets to Fakhar Zaman. Bleach blonde hair in the style of Phil Foden, Manchester City and England footballer. Jason Roy's had similar. As Livingstone bowls an off spinner round the wicket to left-handed Zaman, who cuts it away out towards Malan, who this time picks up cleanly. Goodness, I'm sure his eyes were focused on that one, but not before Pakistan pick up 2. 99 for 3. The other thing about Liam Livingstone, he's got a right-hander. He can spin the ball away from the right-hander. He gets a left-hander in. He can do exactly the same.
Yeah, good control. Gives your side options to be able to adjust the field, whether you have a left or right-handed bowler. And he does maintain the control as well, even with a left-hand, right-hand combination of batters at each end. So he's going to just try and get him to fire it in. Well, they're changing the field a lot here. They just had 2 sort of backward points, and now they're going to put some cover in at fine.
Slip still in place, though, as Livingstone bowls an orthodox off-spinner to the left-handed Fakhar Zaman, who carefully pushes out to backward point, and a single is taken. It also brings up the Pakistan 100 in the 13th over. Fakhar to 19. 36 balls for the first 50. Slightly slower second 50.
Yeah,
taking 40 balls.
The wickets slowed things down.
Official attendance has been given 20,328.
Feels
packed in, and it feels like 20,000.
It does, doesn't it?
Hardly a seat to be had. Livingstone shuffles in, bowls the leg spinner, a good one as well. It's quite the art as it's defended out into the offside, and Rizwan is having a wander and does the fielding for England. Tosses the ball to Eoin Morgan.
It's quick as well to get that grip off the surface, getting it through.
I mean, it's a very useful weapon to have. You think about where the World T20 is going to be in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, UAE. It's down the pitch, hitting inside out over extra is Rizwan. Just slices off the face a fraction. It goes out to David Willey at deep cover, and a single is taken to end the 13th over, 101 for 3. But just to have not only his batting ability, but also his ability with the ball, Liam Livingstone, to spin the ball both ways, it's a very useful commodity to have.
Sorry, I've just been double bluffing you. I think I was pretending.
I thought you were going. Are you not going?
To go off, and then actually I'm going to stay with you one more. I just couldn't leave. It was the joke. It was the joke.
Wasn't it
about the all sorts that made me think I want one more over to hear Another punchline. What have you got?
Nothing. Very little. 101 for 3. Beautiful evening here in Manchester.
Do you know it's raining in London, by the way?
Oh, no.
Well, normally when I come north, it gets colder and colder, but actually, for once, it's cooking.
Do have a word with the PM, won't you? Here's Moeen Ali to continue. Pavilion behind him. Oh, he gets one to really jag back. And I tell you what, there is some grip out there for the spinners, and something that Pakistan, I'm sure, in the dugout will be licking their lips about. That really has jagged back to Rizwan. It made him jump almost as he played a ball that he fended off his body out into the offside. There is no run. Remains 101 for 3. Thoughts of Ebony in a second, but Moeen is ready again with those bright orange boots of his. Underneath the blue trousers, gets whipped through the mid-wicket region for a single, and Rizwan gets to 50. A very well-made 50 as well. There was a period when Adil Rashid took those 3 wickets, and Pakistan started to crumble a little bit, but alongside Fakhar Zaman, he's just steadied the ship, and he's Pakistan's rock this evening. 50 not out, and Pakistan 102 for 3.
Yeah, he's doing a great job for his team at the moment. He had to dial it back when the wickets were being taken, rotate the strike, reduce the risk. But if he can hang around another couple of overs and then start to play expressively at the back end of the game.
Fakhar Zaman gets one on leg stump, which he turns through forward square, and he'll get a couple of runs perfectly placed between Malan and Saqib, allowing him to come back for the second. 104 for 3. He's played well here, Fakhar Zaman.
I don't think it's going to be an easy wicket. You know, if they can post that 170-180 and then Pakistan get their spinners in on early, cause some problems, slow the ball off the surface.
Slightly slower delivery from Moeen. Gets just punched down the ground for a single. 105 for 3.
Yeah, it could keep them in. I just noticed that one from Moeen Ali. Not only did it jag off the surface, it slowed down and you really had to wait to play your shot. So if Pakistan are reading all of those signs, I'll tell you what, it's cooking in that stand over there, literally.
There's smoke?
Pink smoke.
Is there a flare or
it's
something
like a flare
like that?
thing going on.
Here's Moeen as a full delivery is whipped through the mid-wicket region again. They should be looking for 2 and will get there. And we heard James Anderson earlier on in commentary say about the corners here at Old Trafford. That's where the most space is. That's where the 2s are available. And Pakistan have been adept in picking those gaps out. Rizwan in particular, he moves to 52. 107 for 3. I did see some smoke coming up over on the stand on the far side as Moeen bowls. It's firmly hit into the turf. Moeen then shied at the stumps through his legs, and there was no one backing up. And that's allowed Rizwan and Pakistan to go through for a single to end the 14th over. 108 for 3. Rizwan is 53 not out, and Fakhar Zaman 22 from 17 deliveries. Ebony is leaving us this time as we await the return of James Anderson. A little shout out as well to BBC golf correspondent Ian Carter, who's listening in. Had a very busy week at Royal St George's last week, no doubt, watching Colin Morikawa win the Open. Great listening as well, and hopefully time to relax and listen to us. James Anderson is back. Thank you everyone for sending all of your pictures in where you're listening from, and across Europe and around the country as well. Always fun to see what you're getting up to on this Tuesday evening with Pakistan 108 for 3 off 14 overs. Also listens on BBC Radio 5 Live as well as 5 Live Sports Extra. We are everywhere, James Anderson.
Everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
Got it all covered.
And how do you see this Pakistan innings?
Yeah, I think they're in a decent position, having seen the spin that this pitch is taking. They've got 4 spinners to choose from, Pakistan, when they come to bowl. I think they'll be fairly happy with 6 overs left. They've got 7 wickets in hand. Rizwan 53 not out of 40. I think he's the key. If he can go on and get an 80 and people bat around him, that could get them up to a really challenging total.
Yeah, Livingstone will continue. 108 for 3, 14 overs gone from the Statham end. He tosses one up and almost a big heave into the leg side, but I think Rizwan was looking where it was going before connection, and it clatters into his pad and there is no run, but he was looking big leg side. Goodness me, if he'd connected it would have gone into the city centre. I saw some big hits at Headingley the other day, Liam Livingstone's in particular. Enormous blow onto the roof as he comes in once more. A leg spinner which is more sedately played by Rizwan, again, it's a sweep shot, but finds Bairstow at deep mid-wicket for another single. 109 for 3. Rizwan to 54. It's going to be, again, we mentioned this in Trent Bridge. We weren't together at Headingley, but where England will bowl at the latter part of their innings. Is it a hard length pitch? Is it a full of length pitch? Will slower balls grip? It would indicate they might, given the spin that's available. Your thoughts on that in a second, as Livingstone is ready to go again. Round the wicket to Fakhar Zaman. Slip still in place. An orthodox off spinner which has turned again. And Fakhar Zaman did well to adjust. He cut it out to Bairstow at dip point and scored to 110 for 3.
Yeah, I think, you know, using the pitch here for the seamers when they come back at the death could be the way forward. Seeing how the spinners have got grip on this pitch.
Livingstone, leg spinner, swept just for a single, 111 for 3.
I think that could be the way forward, and I think also England can learn a little bit from how Pakistan are batting here as well. So when they've gone for the big shot, I think they found it more difficult. But when they've seen Rizwan just playing some hard sweeps along the floor, rolling the wrists on the ball, rather than trying to go aerial and hit a big 6. It's a really big square boundary here, so you maybe just take the 1 and 2 and build partnerships like that.
Livingstone, after a little shift in the field, is still 3 on the leg side boundary, deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on. He bowls an off spinner which is guided through the cover region for a single by Fakhar Zaman, 112 for 3. Just a reminder, since there's 2 Lancastrians with you, another couple are available. The No Balls Cricket Podcast, available on the Test Match Special stream on BBC Sounds, featuring Indian superstar Harmanpreet Kaur as Rizwan gets driven down. Livingstone gets driven down to long on for a single, 113 for 3 at the end of the 15th over. Harmanpreet Kaur is on the No Balls podcast, who hosts with Kate Cross and Alex Hartley. They'll be playing the opening game of the 100 tomorrow for the Manchester Originals against the Oval Invincibles. Make sure you check that out. So 113 for 3, 5 overs remain. James Anderson, some more from you, and then to take you through to the back end of the innings, it'll be Atif Nawaz.
Yeah, I think this is clearly an important stage of the innings, but England are looking to keep bowling their spinners. We've seen a lot of grip on this surface. So Moeen Ali will bowl his allotted 4 overs, which he hasn't done it doesn't feel like he's done it a huge amount for England in recent times. And I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Livingstone does the same at the other end. But interesting that Eoin Morgan keeping going with his spinners here, where, you know, getting towards those death overs.
Yeah, it's been the way for England, really. I think they've really invested in what they learned in the last game at Leeds. It's Moeen Ali in once again. Full of ball, can't quite get it away. Rizwan, they run through for a quick single. There's a shy at the non-strikers end from the wicketkeeper, Joss Buttler. No real danger for Pakistan, 114 for 3. I think it's as you said, Jimmy. I think the going after the ball in a premeditated way hasn't worked for Pakistan today. They've either found the fielders or they've been tactically worked out. So they need to just take a step back and think about when they want to hit the ball, where they want to hit it, which has been lacking a little bit today. We've seen when they've worked and played proper shots, looked for the gaps, there's been more there on offer. As Moeen Ali in once again, back of a length and beats Fakhar. He misses the ball completely. He strikes him on the pad. There's a belated appeal for LBW from Moeen. Umpire is unmoved. Now Moeen is making a case for the review. He's talking to Joss Buttler, Eoin Morgan. Now Eoin Morgan makes the T sign. He doesn't want a cup of tea, he wants a review. And to be honest with you, even though there wasn't much noise about it, Jimmy, he looks kind of close.
TV umpire to director, we've got a review for LBW. Original decision is not out. Can I see front on, please?
Yeah, the thing for me here, Moeen Ali looked really sure about it.
It is a fair delivery.
That's the voice of Martin Saggers, the third umpire. Oof. Looks
okay,
plumb.
It's very close. If I could go to ultra edge, please.
Yeah, looks very close. It's hit him on the back leg in front of middle stump. Height, I think, is the only issue here.
And keep rolling through. Got flat line. Just rock and roll that for me one more time.
Just the top bit of the bat flap.
Okay, and roll it back through to the pad. It's a flat line as it passes the bat. If I could move to ball tracking, please. Ball tracking, pitching outside off, impact in line,
Top of middle.
Hitting the wickets. If we go back on field to Alex, please.
Moeen Ali has...
Alex, I'm going to ask you to reverse your decision. You're on the screen now.
Well, he was convinced for a reason, was Moeen Ali. He pushed for that review. You don't often see him pushing for reviews, but he was convinced, and with good reason. It was hitting the top of middle stump. What a time for England to get rid of Fakhar Zaman. 114 for 4 now after 15.2 overs. A timely wicket there.
Yeah, really good wicket for England. And Moeen Ali, he has been getting some spin. That one just skids on off the surface, trapping Fakhar Zaman on the crease. And when Moeen Ali, as you say, doesn't often push for a review, but when he does, like when he's so sure about it, he's someone that you think, wow, if he's going for it, then it must be close. And Eoin Morgan didn't hesitate to go for it. So yeah, really important wicket at a difficult stage for Pakistan.
Yes, well, we talked about Pakistan playing a bowler-heavy team today. They've got rid of a batter today in their lineup. They have a slightly longer tail because of it. Now, Shadab Khan is the new batter. He batted reasonably well for Pakistan. Under no pressure, really, at that point. The game was beyond Pakistan, but he got himself 36 not out. Did Shadab in the previous game. And now he comes at the crease with Pakistan 114 for 4 after 15.2. They do need a total here. It's a spinning pitch, but anything under 150, 160, you'd say advantage England.
Yeah, I think 150 is probably about par, especially with the spin we've seen. I think it'll be a difficult chase for England. 150 plus would definitely be a difficult chase.
It'll take some getting at this point with England spinners bowling well. Moeen Ali into his 4th over, 3.2 overs, 1 for 17 for him so far. As he comes in now to Shadab Khan, sharply turning delivery, which Shadab nearly plays onto his stumps. Just bottom edges it, it bounces into the hands of Jos Buttler. The ball is really turning here, Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah, it really is turning sharply from outside off stump of the right-hander.
In comes Moeen Ali again, this time a bit shorter. Shadab gets on the pull, just muscles this down to long on for a single. He's off the mark. 115 for 4 now.
I can only see that spin getting more and more pronounced as the game goes on. So that's it'll be a slight worry for England. They'll want to keep this total down to certainly below 150 to try and make that chase a little bit easier.
Yeah, Usman Qadir in the lineup as well for Pakistan today. Very, very talented spinner. You know, Mohammad Hafeez can bowl, Shadab Khan can bowl. In comes Moeen Ali, down the track comes Rizwan, looking to make something happen in the end, just checking his shot, pushing the ball back to Moeen Ali. No run again. It's a brilliant over from Moeen Ali so far. He's back into his stride once again. Moeen Ali, lots of flight this time, swept fine by Rizwan. He finds the fielder at deep backward square. It's Jonny Bairstow gets the ball back in. Just the single. So after 16 overs, Pakistan are 116 for 4 in this deciding encounter here at Old Trafford. It's not got the belligerent hitting of Nottingham. It doesn't have the explosiveness of Headingley. So there's a serious tactical battle at play here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, absolutely. High fives all round for Moeen Ali, or fist bumps all round. 1 for 19 off his 4. Bowled really well. Exploited the spin that this pitch is giving. I think this is it's a really good performance by England's spinners here. Adil Rashid coming back into the attack, 3 for 26 off his 3. And I think one criticism of the Pakistan batsmen, that there are big areas square of the wicket here at Old Trafford, and they've not once tried to just not one into a gap for 2, put pressure on the fielder. They're always looking for that slightly bigger shot, that boundary shot.
Yeah. Well, Adil Rashid in now to Rizwan. Lots of fly given. Rizwan down the track. He's looking for the big shot. He's found it this time over the long on boundary to the right of the media centre. That's a well-needed 6 for Pakistan. Rizwan onto 64 not out now. Pakistan 122 for 4.
Well, there's no point looking for the gaps in the field if you can hit it that far, is there? It's a great shot. He came down the wicket but didn't get to the pitch of the ball. So he used his hands to reach for it, but connects with it brilliantly and hits it into the top tier of the stand.
It's a big hit from Rizwan. He's been spoiled for big hits in this series. Now then, Rashid has the sanitised ball back in his hand. More flight given this time, and Rizwan just definitely pushing to that short third fielder. They've run through for a quick single, and that's really what's been missing today from the batters as well, Jimmy. That ability to just say, okay, I've got my 6, I've got my 4. Let me take a single, let me take a 2, let me look for the gaps, let's rotate this. You don't have to be relentlessly hitting every ball, especially when it's turning.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was clever batting. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Shadab on strike. In comes Adil Rashid. Lots of flight given. Shadab drives very pleasingly out to the sweeper in the covers. David Willey getting the ball back in. Single taken. 124 for 4 now, Pakistan. I wonder if England will continue with spin past this over as well. It's done really well for them. Adil Rashid 3 for 34. I've already seen a terrific spell from Moeen Ali. 4 overs, 1 for 19 for him. Maybe another over from Livingstone. Well, we'll find out shortly as in comes Adil Rashid. This one's a bit shorter. Rizwan kneeling down, looking for the big sweep. Under edges it into the mid-wicket area. They take a single. It's very well bowled from Adil Rashid. Just saw that intent immediately from Rizwan.
Yeah, just pushed it a bit wider, gave it a bit more flight, making Rizwan really reach for that sweep shot. And when you're reaching that far, it's very hard to time it.
Rashid in once again, bit shorter this time. Cut shot attempted by Shadab. Misses the ball as it turns sharply away from him into the gloves of Jos Buttler. And another dot ball for England. Just a bit flatter and a bit quicker that time from Adil Rashid. He's really got all the tools. Makes him one of the finest leg spinners in the world today. And he comes now, Adil Rashid, this time a bit shorter. Shadab has hit this high up in the air. Is the fielder getting underneath it? Will he take the catch? Yes, he will. An excellent catch from Liam Livingstone. Adil Rashid has his 4th wicket. Shadab Khan has to depart for 2. And Pakistan losing momentum at a crucial time here. 17 overs gone, 125 for 5. What a catch that was from Livingstone.
Yeah, just got the toe of the bat. Did Shadab hitting it out to mid-wicket, the mid-wicket region. Liam Livingstone having to cover a bit of ground to come in and catch that, but also he had the sun to contend with, which is right in his face. So he made a really good catch in the end, catching it low down in front of him.
Well, it helps England's hopes of just holding Pakistan below that 150 mark that you're talking about. It's a longer tail, as we keep saying. But crucially for Pakistan, Mohammad Rizwan is still there. Imad Wasim, the new batter, we know he can hit the ball a long way as well. Showed a few glimpses of that in the last match at Leeds, also for Nottinghamshire last season. Got himself a T20 Blast winners medal as well. Big noise here in Manchester as those air horns have temporarily, they've not disappeared, but they've just been taken down a notch.
Yeah, just quietened a little bit. Just slowing up quite dramatically this Pakistan innings. A lot now resting on Rizwan's shoulders at this stage of the innings.
3 overs to go, 125 for 5. Chris Jordan is going to come back into the attack, so that relentless barrage of spin is temporarily going to stop. As Jordan just waiting at the top of his run. Rizwan, in fact, Imad Wasim on strike. Jordan bowls on the leg stump. Imad has flicked this to the fine leg area. Saqib Mahmood is on the boundary. Single taken. You can tell by Imad's backlift he is already coming in with a very attacking mood. 3 overs to go, I suppose. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I want, from a Pakistan point of view, you'd want Rizwan facing as many balls as possible in this last, well, 17 balls now remaining in this innings. You want him facing as many as possible, so it's not the worst thing. Imad getting a single, getting Rizwan on strike. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes hell for leather from this ball, or whether he takes it quite deep, Rizwan, and keeps knocking it around, just playing strong shots. England got one of their strongest death bowlers on at the minute as well.
He's taking his time setting his field, and Rizwan had a good look around to make sure he knew exactly where the field is. They're both gesturing at the moment. Rizwan's gesturing, Jordan's gesturing. It's like a Shakespearean play. Now then, Jordan finally runs in. He bowls to Rizwan. It's a little bit shorter. It's a slow ball. Rizwan's just scooped this into the leg side for a single. I think Jordan's going to call that a win for now. Moeen Ali in the deep doing the fielding. 127 for 5. Pakistan. It's an extraordinary atmosphere, isn't it, Jimmy? It's almost like an away game for England with the amount of support and noise for Pakistan. And you've probably encountered that multiple times in your career. I mean, what is that like to play what almost feels like an away game at your home ground? Yeah,
I mean, it's strange, but I mean, the atmosphere is electric, and it's just great to play in an arena like that.
Jordan in short this time, hammered by Imad over the fielder at cover. The fielder who's sweeping is going to have to come around a long way, putting a dive in effort. Jonny Bairstow preventing the boundary, but the batters will get back. No! Is there a run out at the non-striker's end? We're going to have a look at this. But it looks like he was caught napping. Well, that would be an awful way for Mohammad Rizwan to fall.
TV umpire to director, we've got a review for run out. Can we see your best side on angle, please?
In fact, it's Imad Wasim.
Okay, just slow it down for me.
Oh, it's tight.
Slow it down.
I think he's gone.
Okay, and just freeze it at the point of impact. Okay, I'm ready with my decision for big screen.
That is terrific awareness from Chris Jordan. Imad Wasim caught napping on that third run. Jordan made no mistake. England have another wicket. Really, really denting any momentum Pakistan can put together. It's 130 for 5 now.
Yeah, it was actually a brilliant bit of awareness from Jonny Bairstow on the boundary. So he firstly made the stop, tipped it back inside the rope with a tumbling, diving effort. And Imad's just jogging the whole way. He thinks it's 2, but Rizwan wants 3. As Rizwan comes back, Imad's left with too much to do. Jonny Bairstow throws the ball to Chris Jordan, which is the end that Imad is running to. And Chris Jordan still has a bit of work to do. He's got to throw it from about, I'd say, a metre away. He just does enough. And Jonny Bairstow very happy with his bit of work there. And it was a fantastic bit of fielding and awareness from him.
Yeah. Chris Jordan crucially just took that split second to set himself before he aimed for the stumps. Jonny Bairstow in the deep, what an effort. The dive, the throw, the awareness to the situation. Well, it's brought a new batsman to the crease. The Rizwan is on strike, a Yorker-length delivery from Jordan. It's been dug out to mid-on, and because the field is so deep set, we talk about these big boundaries square of the wicket, the batters have managed to get back for 2.
Yeah, good running. Good running.
It's dramatic stuff, this. Rizwan has now got Hasan Ali at the non-striker's end, who's come back in after a thigh injury. He missed the first 2 games. And he's back for Pakistan today. We know he can bat. And this is going to take a little bit of astuteness here from him and Rizwan. A lot of pressure on here on Pakistan. As that ball getting a little bit scuffed up as well. It's just how Chris Jordan likes it. The death of an innings. That full stuff. Mohammad Rizwan on strike. In comes Chris Jordan. He bowls a low full toss. Rizwan drives straight down the ground. It beats the fielder at mid-off. There's no one at long off. That is 4 runs. Well, Mohammad Rizwan's counter-attack continues. He's on 73 now. Pakistan 135 for 6. Small margins.
Yeah, that's clever batting though from Rizwan. It's an attempted York from Chris Jordan. Gets it slightly full. It's a full toss. Rizwan just gives himself that little bit of room outside leg stump because he's got mid-off and extra cover inside the circle. He knows that if he beats them either side, it's 4 runs. He times it well enough just to get to beat the diving fielder at mid-off.
Jordan in once again. Bit fuller this time. Rizwan digs it into the leg side. He wants the single. He turns back immediately as Jordan had that ball in his hand and is followed through in a split second. Well, catch your breath. That was an eventful over. 135 for 6 after 18. Rizwan on 73 off 54 deliveries. Hasan Ali yet to face a delivery. That's extraordinary. What a match these spinners are having. 4 wickets for Adil Rashid today. So effective for England. But also the fielding, Jimmy Anderson, here at Old Trafford. From England, they're just not skipping a beat. You can tell that it's a big match and they're treating it as such.
Definitely, yeah. They look right on it today. I think their fielding throughout the white ball summer has been fantastic, actually. Well, it has been for a number of years now. They're just... Everyone works so hard. They've got some of the best fielders in the world. and they also know exactly what their job is as well. You see them moving between overs. There's no arm waving or pointing from the captain. It's just the players take it on their shoulders as their responsibility to get themselves in the right place. I think that's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, Saqib Mahmood is going to be bowling the penultimate over. He's been really impressive again this entire white ball series against Pakistan. He was brought in to be part of that quote-unquote B team for England in the one-day international series. Impressed getting out Pakistan's best batter in Babar Azam multiple times. Forced his way into this T20 squad. Just has a little false start there in his run-up. Eoin Morgan just stops him. He wants to adjust the field. Now the fielder from fine leg inside the circle is going to move across to backward point. They just want to just switch fielders there, Eoin Morgan. He wants specific people in specific positions. Gives you an idea of how precise he is. In comes Saqib Mahmood to Hasan Ali. Starts with a short ball outside off. Hasan Ali goes for a wild swing. Misses the ball. Goes through to the keeper. It's a dot ball, 135 for 6.
Yeah, just when you at this stage of the innings, you have all your best fielders on the boundary, so that the field change there was Dawid Malan was at backward point. He's moved him from there to short fine leg. You might say that's out of the way and trying to hide a fielder at this stage of the innings. David Willey, who's a slightly better fielder, he's gone to backward point.
Well, he's been very good at his field positions, Eoin Morgan. He just sat out the previous game, of course, let Josh Buttler take over for a game. And he did very well as well, winning that game for England as captain. As in comes Mahmood, the short one. This one's been pulled high, it's been pulled long, it's been pulled into the crowd by Hasan Ali. Well, that noise tells you everything. A big shot to get Hasan Ali off the mark with a 6. Pakistan 141 for 6. That was quite the blow.
Yeah, huge blow. It's probably the biggest part of the ground there. He's cleared the rope with ease. It's a slow ball from Saqib Mahmood, dragged into the surface, but sat up, and Hasan Ali was waiting for it, and it's a fantastic strike. We've sung Saqib Mahmood's praises today, and this series he has bowled fantastically well, but if there's one criticism, it is his death bowl, and it's maybe not choosing the right balls at the right time.
And he comes now to Hasan Ali, going a little bit fuller that time. It's been hit hard by Hasan Ali out to Moeen Ali in the covers, and the batters take a single. I mean, he could do well to just look at the other end and see how Chris Jordan does it. He goes for the full Yorker length balls, and Saqib's sort of persisting with the shorter stuff.
Yeah, he's learning all the time, and I think he will learn a lot from this experience. He'll learn from the guys around him. As you say, Chris Jordan, fantastic at the death, and he'll learn from, the best place to learn is out there in the middle, bowling at some of the best batsmen in the world. And Rizwan, obviously, at the minute, one of the best T20 players there is around. So I think this will do him the world of good. It's not just about choosing the right ball at the right time, it's about executing your skill as well. So if you choose a Yorker, you've got to make sure you absolutely nail it and get in the block hole.
It's a challenging period at the death now. Saqib Mahmood. He's got Mohammad Rizwan, all 73 runs of him on strike. As in he comes, he bowls, it's wide outside off stump, quite a long way wide enough to be given a wide. And, well, against Saqib Mahmood, maybe a little bit of inexperience kicking in, maybe a little bit of pressure. Playing here on his home ground as well. 143 for 6 now, the Pakistan scores. Saqib wasn't happy, he felt he was slightly hard done by, but it was a wide.
Yeah, he thinks that the batsman's moved over, which he did. He moved across to the offside, but he didn't move that far. He just sort of moved just outside off stump. And he's thrown that way wide of the wide line marker that the umpires use. And quite rightly, it's a wide.
Now then, how can he follow it up? In comes Saqib Mahmood, fuller this time, inside the tram line this time, and Rizwan can just dig it down to long on for a single. Again, Rizwan sort of wanted 2 there. There was never 2 runs there. Hasan Ali giving him a big loud call of no, and it had to be loud here at Old Trafford to come through. We saw that with that Imad Wasim run-out dismissal. In Rizwan's mind, it was always 3. In Imad's mind, it was always 2. There was never a question of anything different in either of their thought processes.
For me, it was poor running from Imad. It was definitely 3. Rizwan made it comfortably, but Imad jogged the first 2 rather than pushing for that 3rd.
Yeah. He's back in the hut. He'll be thinking about that. Remember, World T20 places still to contend for both teams. 144 for 6. In comes Saqib Mahmood to Hasan Ali. He bowls. Hasan Ali has a big swing. Ball takes a top edge. It beats Josh Buttler. And it's gone to the boundary for 4. They'll take him any way they come right now, Pakistan. It wasn't pretty, but it is a boundary. 148 for 6.
Yeah, it might look like that's unlucky for Saqib Mahmood. It's an edge just past Josh Buttler. He just went over his head. It's a length ball. It's a length ball wide of off stump with pace on. 86 miles an hour, that ball. So it might look unlucky, but it's not executed a skill. I struggle to know what he's actually trying to bowl there with this field that he's got. It's just a wide length ball. It is a bit unfortunate, but still 4 runs.
Now then, in he comes for his final delivery. Mahmood, he bowls a fuller ball this time. It takes an under edge, and the fielder inside that circle in the fine leg area will recover. So a single taken. Pakistan 149 for 6 with 1 over to come. And slightly expensive over that from Saqib Mahmood. And Pakistan's batting card, well, it starts well with Mohammad Rizwan at the top, 74 not out, but nobody else could really get in. We saw Fakhar Zaman get 24 off 20. Babar, Sohaib and Mohammad Hafeez all done in by the spin of Adil Rashid. Some very astute field placing by Eoin Morgan as well. So a great catch from Liam Livingstone at mid-wicket to dismiss Shadab Khan, and then the run out to dismiss Imad Wasim. Now we've got Hasan Ali. He's got 12 off 5 so far. He's going to be on strike for this final over, and it's going to be from the death ball specialist, which is Chris Jordan. What does he get so right that Saqib Mahmood is getting wrong at the moment?
Well, I think it's more execution than anything. So it's all well and good thinking, right, I'll bowl a slow ball this ball, but it's actually where you bowl the slow ball. It's got to be accurate. You can't just lob a slow ball down there. Similar with a Yorker, you've got to be precise with it and get it in that block hole, so it's hard for the batsman to get underneath it and get it away.
I was going to say, Jimmy, in modern cricket, we've seen a lot of bowlers shy away from bowling Yorkers at the death. Why do you think they've started doing that?
I think because batters have become wise to it, and they're so good at hitting balls that are just marginally either side of Yorker length. They're good at hitting those low full tosses for 6. They're good at hitting the half volleys for 6.
Small margins. In comes Chris Jordan now. That's a very good ball. It was nice and full. Hasan Ali had a big swing at that, never got in line. It's a dot ball for England. Score remains 149 for 6. Sorry, Jimmy.
No, just to carry on from that, it's just about executing that skill. And there, Chris Jordan, it's not the perfect Yorker, but to a number 8, you can get away with those, and he did. And Hasan Ali punches his bat as if he should have actually made connection with that.
He just didn't quite get in line with Hasan Ali. Jordan, he's got figures of 0 for 25 so far from his 3.1 overs. In he comes now. He bowls a full ball. This time Hasan Ali does make connection. It's gone high up in the air. It just clears the fielder, backing up for extra cover. And the sweeper Liam Livingstone will get the ball back in. The batters take 2. Pakistan's 150 comes up. 151 for 6. And there are 4 balls to come in this innings.
You can just see how much Mohammad Rizwan's chomping at the bit to get back down the striker's end. He was looking for 3 there when there was never 3. And he's just had a chat as well in between balls there.
Well, Hasan Ali is going to be the man on strike. He's got 14 off 7, 200 strike rate, not bad. In comes Chris Jordan. This is full. It's a perfectly executed Yorker. Went between the stumps and the batter. 90 miles an hour from Chris Jordan as well. And most crucially, a dot ball.
Yeah, that is perfect execution of the Yorker. 90 miles an hour. Angling into the right-handed batsman, and he can't get back on it. It misses leg stump by millimetres.
In his follow-through, he managed to hit himself on the head with the bat as well. Well, Chris Jordan causing some problems. 3 balls to go here for Pakistan. How far can they get? As Jordan comes in, he bowls another full, fast Yorker, dug out by Hasan Ali into the mid-on region. Jason Roy does a sliding stop, and just a single taken, so 152 for 6. It's excellent stuff this from Chris Jordan, showing why he's got that tag of death ball specialist.
Yeah, he's doing really well here. Good start to the over, first 4 balls. Now has to see it out. Rizwan, the danger man, on strike now. He's been itching for the strike this over. He's finally got it. He'll be looking to finish this innings with a bang.
Now 2 balls to come. Again, Eoin Morgan taking his time, just setting his field. Chris Jordan making sure he's got everybody where they want them. Fine leg is coming up inside the circle, as is deep third. But there is a long on and a long off now. 2 men in the deep on the leg side, a sweeper in the covers. So if there's runs in the deep, they're going to have to come from behind the batter. Well, let's see what happens as Chris Jordan runs in. Rizwan dances around the stumps. He was looking for the lap shot, mis-executes it in the end, and it's another dot ball from Chris Jordan. Rizwan being outfoxed right now. Score remains 152 for 6.
Yeah, that is being outfoxed. So he's bowled 4 Yorkers this over so far. Rizwan's trying to premeditate a lap sweep shot, a ramp shot. Chris Jordan, wise to it, he's bowled 90 miles an hour every ball this over. That one to Rizwan was 64 miles an hour, taking so much pace off it. That doesn't allow Rizwan to, he wants to ramp because to use the pace of the ball, but he's got no pace to work with and can't connect.
He was looking for those gaps behind the wicket. Anyway, this is the last ball now. In comes Chris Jordan. He bowls, it's short. Rizwan pulls. There's a fielder in the deep. It'll just be the single way. They're coming back with the second. Surely they won't make it. It wasn't the best throw in the world. In the end, Rizwan dives back and makes it back for 2. So, after their 20 overs, Pakistan have reached 154 for 6. Well, immediate thoughts, Jimmy, who's going to be happier with that, England or Pakistan?
It's a bit on the spot there.
It's a bit in between, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think Pakistan will be quite happy with that. The way that the ball's turned on that pitch, I think they'll think they can defend it. But at the same time, I imagine England are going into the dressing room feeling positive. They know they've got the batting lineup, the strength in depth to be able to chase any score down on any surface. So I think both teams will be equally happy at this stage of the game.
Well, time will tell, as we can just to remind you earlier today, Babar Azam won the toss, and almost before he was asked what he was going to do, said, we're going to bat first. Maybe a correction from what happened at Leeds. Pakistan have managed to get themselves to 154 for 6 after the 20 overs, largely due to the efforts of their wicket-keeping opening batter, Mohammad Rizwan. 76 of 57 deliveries for him. And for England, Adil Rashid, the star of the show, 4 wickets from his 4 overs, giving away just 35 runs. And Moeen Ali, a great supporting effort from him as well. 4 overs, 1 for 19. So, we're going to be back very, very shortly. Ellie Aldroyd, what did you make of that performance? Who do you think is ahead?
I think it's so brilliantly balanced. I mean, listening to Jimmy, it just feels like those ought to be runs that England feel they can get with the way that they bat all the way down, as we said, to Liam Livingstone coming in at number 7 in that batting lineup. But I think, I don't know what you think, guys, the fact that England have got this range of bowling options as well, that you've got Adil Rashid taking 4, you've got Moeen taking 1 as well, and then you've got Chris Jordan bowling at the depth, at the death, Jimmy. It feels as a really... just kind of indicates how strong England are in all departments. Yeah,
definitely. I think they've got really exciting options. They've got all bases covered for various conditions. And I think even Liam Livingstone tonight, he didn't take a wicket. He went at 7 and over in his three overs. It's doing a job for his captain. And I think he's someone who can actually develop into a really good bowler and someone who can compete at this level. But yeah, I just felt like it was a pretty good performance all round. That last over from Chris Jordan, absolutely outstanding.
Thank you, Jimmy. A quick word from you, Atif, before you go off and get a cup of tea as well. For Pakistan, Babar Azam obviously had that sense that, they are going to put a score on the board and then they're going to restrict England. Who will be the key bowlers for them? Well,
it's going to be the spinners, just as Jimmy said. We've got Usman Qadir to look forward to seeing today. Very exciting bowler, son of Pakistani late great legend Abdul Qadir, who is widely credited for perfecting the googly. So he's very, very good. We're looking forward to seeing him in action today. I can just see him warming up right now. He'll be something to look at. But it'll be those spinners. It'll be Shadab. We might even see Hafeez have a bowl. Did they learn from that England performance? Because it was the spinners, both here and in Leeds, who put the brakes on for them. They'll want to do the same thing in return.
It's going to be a really fascinating run chase from an England point of view. They'll start that in just under 10 minutes' time. You're listening to live cricket on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra on this beautiful sunlit Manchester evening. It's just kind of pale blue, the sky now.
Thank you, Ellie. Good evening. Labour has accused the government of mixed messages over COVID self-isolation rules in England. Number 10 was forced to clarify that people should follow notifications from the contact tracing phone app after the business minister, Paul Scully, had claimed any decision on whether to self-isolate was personal choice. Professor Stephen Riker, an expert in behavioural psychology, said clear advice was crucial.
All the polling shows that most people are motivated to do the right thing, to protect themselves, to protect their communities. But if they're to act responsibly, the government needs to take its responsibilities seriously as well, and in partnership we'll move forward. If people aren't supported by the government, then basically telling them it's all up to them is an abdication of responsibility. It's not an increase of responsibility.
Downing Street has issued the first exemptions from self-isolation for fully vaccinated workers in critical industries. The change is expected to only apply to a small number of professions. New Brexit tensions have emerged between the European Union and the UK over border arrangements for Gibraltar. The territory wasn't included in last year's trade agreement, so a deal must be brokered separately. It is understood the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab is particularly concerned about the bloc's plan for Spanish officials to get greater responsibility. Scotland Yard say a 3-year-old girl has been left with life-changing injuries after she was hit by an e-scooter in South London. The crash happened in Lambeth last night. The man riding the scooter is understood to have apologised, but detectives still want him to come forward to fully explain what happened.